Welcome to Religious Studies 2202, the New Testament. I'm so glad that you've signed up to take this course this summer. It's one of my very favorite courses. I don't get to teach it as often as I would like because of my administrative duties as chair of the Department of Religious Studies. So I often reserve it for the summers and the opportunity to teach it in a concentrated way during the first of the summer terms. I think the best recommendation for you is to click on the syllabus in the Canvas portal and spend some time looking at the overview of the course that you find there. In the early part of the syllabus, you'll find some links where you can explore further information about me and how this course, New Testament, changed my career goals, but also learn a bit more about the discipline of religious studies and the Department of Religious Studies, as you might or might not be interested in that kind of information. But then move through the syllabus to get an overview of what we'll be doing this summer. Once you have that under your belt, then you might take a look at the larger Canvas portal, and particularly the section or the tab entitled Modules, because there everything is laid out for what we'll be doing in this course. Obviously, the course is very concentrated, and it will be important for us to establish a daily rhythm. Here's the way I see that rhythm working out for the next 20 days of our work together. That is, you'll check in at the beginning of the day, let me know that you're on board with the course. That will count as a kind of attendance grade. And then you will look at the day's assignment and do the reading in the textbook and the reading in the reader, which are texts of the New Testament and other early Christian documents. Then, once you've finished the daily reading, I suggest that you try your hand at the short 5-question quiz. And then, once you've taken the quiz, to have your readings available so that you can answer the more formal questions asked about the reading. There are usually 2 or 3 such questions. And then once you have that under your belt, you'll be ready to contribute to the discussion for the day. You're asked to do 2 substantive discussion posts, and I will be monitoring those posts and interacting with you as you begin to post your responses online. And almost every day I'll be making what I call an omnibus response to everybody's posts and to the overall tenor of the day's discussion. Every week there will be an examination. It won't be due until the very last minute of Sunday during that week's work, but I suggest that you open the exam, say, on Wednesday, just to get a feel for how the exam is going to cover the material that you've been doing so far, and looking ahead to these assignments on Thursday and Friday. The exams will cover the full week's work, week 1, week 2, and week 3, and then in week 4 you'll have a final project instead of an exam. The final project will be due on Friday of the last week instead of Sunday. But the exams are open book, and they will be due, as I said, the last minute on Sunday. I think it's appropriate to offer a word about how to use the textbook to its best advantage. Again, there is a textbook which gives background information on the New Testament, provides you everything you ever wanted to know about the New Testament, really, as well as a reader, which includes the entire New Testament, as well as other important documents of early Christianity related to the New Testament, and we'll be reading some of those as well. But a word about how best to use the textbook. That's the green book. I call the reader the cappuccino book because it's a kind of light brown coffee colored book. At the beginning of every chapter of the textbook, there is a section called What to Expect. I would suggest reading that section first before you read anything else in the textbook, and then go to the very last pages of the chapter, and on the last page of the chapter is a box called At a Glance, and that gives you a summary of the major points that are covered in the chapter. I would take a look at that next. Then go back to the beginning of the chapter when the pages start to become white in their background again, and read the chapter straight through to the end. Once you get to the end of the chapter, I would suggest that you review once again the Take a Glance section of that chapter, which will remind you of what you've just read. I think it's probably best to ignore the boxes in the chapter, which provide further information and often lead you on interesting tangents. Don't read the boxes until you've finished reading the main text of the chapter. Then go back and read the boxes and consider what they have to say. Then one final recommendation is that once you've read the chapter fully, take a look at the key terms which come at the very bottom of the page, the very last page of the chapter. Make sure that you have a grasp of those key terms. Maybe refer back to the chapter if you don't, or to the glossary at the very end of the book, which will remind you of definitions of those key terms. If you use the textbook in that way, that is the green textbook, I think you will be able to master the components of the reading assignment, be prepared to do very well on the quizzes, very well on the replies to the reading assignments every week. You'll be in good shape to participate fully in the discussions. I can't wait for the first of your interactions. I look forward to a really rich time in this course during the next 4 weeks. As I said, it's concentrated. It will require a good deal of your attention. Taking this course over the course of 4 weeks is almost like a full-time job. So if you have a summer job, be prepared to spend a good deal of time on this course in addition to your job. But I think it'll repay the effort. There's a lot of fascinating material that we'll be discussing in the days ahead. Look forward to chatting with you soon. Take care.